Oh yeah,
what really matters.
What matters, exactly. You're like, okay, let it all burn.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I gotta make my peace with that.
Yeah. So if you're just joining on Zoom, and here we've got a nice, beautiful, intimate crowd, and we were just talking about a local little fire that got put out quickly, thanks to our fire department in Sea Canyon. So sending out, it's just interesting how just swift moves can prevent a catastrophe. So notice in your life how sometimes we've been close to a disaster and we never even knew it. You know, what we, and it's interesting and it's a little philosophical, but I read a great book called What You Should Really Be Afraid of. And what we really should be afraid of is what we're not afraid of. I mean, it's like, when you think about it, going in a car is worse. I mean, it's like, so I just want us to stop and pause tonight and see if we can again work with letting go of these rational but irrational fears. You know, when we look at even COVID, it's a very, very small population considering our population of the United States of America that even got infected. Of course, there might be more, but it's just if we just wrap our mind around that nothing is certain. One, we don't really know. We have no real control other than what we can do. You know, and if we do everything we can, we learn to just have to surrender. And I've just been learning over this past few months, as the fear comes in, it's all about not wanting things to not go my way, which is, you know, not get COVID or not have this problem with this thing, but just to learn to realize that when we fully take that exhale, and that's really what it's about, is taking that exhale. So let's just begin our class tonight with just releasing some of that tension through that exhale. Maybe a sigh.
Girls, I'm going to be doing yoga right here.
Oh, it may be welcoming Belle. Belle is with us tonight. Hi. Yeah. So just in this next 2 or 3 minutes, let's just focus on not so much of the inhale. The inhale's coming, but accentuating that exhale. So maybe in for 3 or 4, and then exhale, just pushing that exhale out a little bit tonight. And it may be a breath in and then a sigh out. And as we take that sigh out, it really releases the cortisol that gets stuck in our heart chakra, or just in our heart in general. So it's just we've all been afraid to cough, to sigh too loud, to sing. So let's just in this moment safely. And even if you're afraid to even let a big sigh out, which I know I feel a little that way right now, you can do it kind of silently, more like, ah. Maybe just a ah. So opening the mouth. See if you can even drum the shoulders up, down, and back. So you're just like, so the shoulders come up to the ears and then they drop down with the exhale. Last night I was doing yoga nidra at about 10:30 at night, and my meditation teacher online was just doing this. It was just like just working with that shoulders up and then exhale. And maybe the exhale becomes just a sigh. continuing that, noticing the exhale and actually accentuating. And starting tonight in a half lotus. So we're in the half lotus, legs are crossed. You can still kind of hum, sigh, let go of any kind of fear that came up to, such as a fire. You know, that was scary for some local people today, that just the cortisol that must have come through as you gather your things and you reflect on what's important. Yeah. What a gift to have everything okay, and then actually look at, what did you grab? What did you know that's the most important thing in your life? And do you even really need that? When the fire came for Shell Beach, I wasn't here. I was in Yellowstone. And I had Airbnb guests in. And I was terrified. I'm like, what if they get burned, or what if my house gets burned? And I immediately surrendered and said, number one, I have insurance. That's kind of cool. I can build a brand new house. Number two, all that matters is my guests are okay and my neighbors are okay. And I immediately let go of my stuff. It was great to let go. So tonight, let's just go of attachments. Let's let go of attachment to our fears, to our stuff that holds us back. Palms are up, and let's just start from the tailbone and really see if we can now lengthen the spine from the tailbone through the lower belly. See if you can journey from your tailbone all the way through into your power point, which is right between your belly button and your sternum. People are joining us on Zoom. It's so nice to see you. I'm just going to mute some of you just in case. Trying to mute. Oop, there we go. Mute, mute. Whitney, I love seeing your house. I'm going to, hi, sweetie. Nice. So taking that nice half lotus tonight, and let's just roll the shoulders up, down, and back. And as we roll those shoulders up, down, and back, let's imagine as the shoulders come up, down, and back, and our heart opens, the release of energy through the heart. Again, up, down, and back. And then as we come to that point where the shoulders come up, and then now down, I want you to hold that back, bring the arms behind you for our first yin pose. So we're just going to take it down. We can either hold the arms back, which is very challenging, or just put the arms behind, placing the right hand on the left hand and reaching with the heart towards the end of your mat. Beautiful. So grounding through the hips, you're going to feel this in your hips, the upper shoulders. You may choose, if you have the flexibility, to wrap your right forearm and your left forearm and just hold those together as you move forward. Using the exhale. Stay seated, so don't lift off the mat. And if this is too much at one time, you can just drop the hands and just hold here. So you choose. We can open the shoulders, or we can come all the way down. So holding here. So deep hip opener in that half lotus. Option to come back with your hands. Yeah, just another minute or so. And again, if any time it feels too much, just bring the hands down. You can bring the hands out here. If your shoulders are tight, maybe you just want to bring one arm back like I feel tonight. Just one arm back, one arm forward. Just another minute for the hips here. Feel your belly rise and fall as it's placed right around the inner thigh, so you may feel the lower diaphragm right there. And just slowly come up. Keep the hands behind you. Just reach up. Now, we have options here. Those of you whose hips are tight, I'd like us, if we could stay in this half lotus as we come into seated cow, reaching around, bringing the hands together. If we have a strap, a rope, a towel, a sweatshirt, which I have one, get it? You probably could even use a tennis shoe. Literally, you could go like this and use a tennis shoe or a strap. So you may have a sweatshirt, a towel. So that right or left comes up. Yeah, there we go. You're walking that bottom hand up towards the top hand, bringing that elbow right next to the cheek, or right next to the ear and the cheek. And then notice if you fell under, and then see if you can lift again. Here comes the moment of noticing the breath, because if you have tight shoulders, if you hold your breath, you're going to really feel your tight shoulders. See if you can really notice. Sigh again. At any time this is too much, you can just drop the back hand and shake it out and then come back in. So we're not suffering. We're not like, oh, I gotta hold this because that's what Diana said to do. And oh, so we're just being gentle and loving with ourselves tonight. Yeah. Just a little bit longer to get into the fascia, tendons, and ligaments, away from just the superficial muscles, but deeper into the layers of the system of the tissue of the body. As we move the interconnected tissue like the fascia, we can actually subtly, and I mean subtly, realign the bones, shoulder, girdle, bringing that in, and then just releasing, and then just releasing and shaking out the hands. Let's release the legs. We'll come to the other side in a few minutes. Let's just straighten the legs out. Beautiful. And then just kind of walk the feet back. I know, notice how you had to kind of let go of the wrist, shaking out the hands a little bit, opening it up. And let's just take that nice upward prayer. And then reaching past the toes. Reach, 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 reach. And then if it allows you, you can bring the index finger around the big toe. If that's not, just look at bend the knees. That's so nice. Really releases the lower spine right there, huh? Yeah, we can bend through the elbows. So we're really protecting the lower back. These forward folds for some of you can be contraindicated for lower back problems. So be really careful if you notice any pulling in that lower SI joint, and then just bend the knees and then come here. Yeah. Breath in, breath out. Maybe just a little deeper now that you've been here for a couple of minutes. But also can feel really nice is just to put the hands underneath the calves. Just to support that lower leg. almost like a bolster. And slowly bring the belly into the spine first. So just sink the belly in, and then from that sinking of the rolling in of the lower belly, come lifting through the front of the heart again. Beautiful. Upward prayer. Beautiful. Bring the hands in. And just come into namaste with yourself now. And just close your eyes for a moment. And there's that nice deep inhale, soft exhale out. Drop the elbows in. Come back into that half lotus. You may choose to put the left foot or the right foot on top. And then find your sweatshirt strap, tennis shoe, phone cord. And then remember what side you did and come into that seated cow, bringing that over. What's also nice is just a gentle rock. You can rock a little to the left maybe, and then walk the hands up higher. So we take the rigidity out of life, right? It's easy to be soldiers, isn't it? Especially now, and have a soul cage around our soul. It's very easy to create that boundary so much that we forget that we're human. So letting the heart open, letting the ribs rise and separate. Yeah. And ask ourselves, can we trust again? You know, we are open again to trusting each other. Sense of aloneness at times, we come back into the tribe, into the unity, the vibration of the oneness of love. It's easy to shut down. Continuing to rise up. Slowly releasing. Let's take that nice little forward fold again. Beautiful. And just gently walk back, extend the feet out. Beautiful. And just come all the way back on your back and just hold out here. And the glance is just down your legs. And then just come all the way down, bring your arm all the way over. Arms are extended overhead, legs are straight. Just really enjoying this full body stretch. From here, let's just bend the left knee and bend the right knee. Arms are still overhead. The knees are in the chest, swing it right side to side. Belle is here, Isadora, Whitney. Looks like Whitney's here twice. Oh, now she's here once. Hi, Whitney, Isadora, and all our friends that are here. Denise, Corinne, Julie. Rocking side to side. Let those knees come to the left side, coming into that twist. Extend the top right leg all the way out straight. Keep that left knee. Arm comes all the way overhead. So we open up through the chest, to the pectoral minor, major. Beautiful. So that leg comes all the way extended out. Beautiful. Finding a prop is nice if you have a blanket or a bolster. That right arm comes extended out. That left hand can across the body and gently move and manipulate lovingly the ribs. So kind of gently just palpate the ribs. So feel all of your ribs in between the ribs. Yeah. There are wonderful little trigger points in the ribs that you can realign. And one of the techniques that I love, this technique called zero core balancing that I took in classes at the Esalen with Fritz. I'm going to forget his last name. He's probably not alive anymore. You'll feel, if you feel your ribs, little like bumps or like little, and you can push down and you might feel a little pain. And if you push down, it's a way to realign your spine and your ribs. Just like kind of, and it's kind of weird to press down on your actual bones of your ribs. You're just kind of using your thumb. Yeah, it's really nice to kind of feel the fascia in between, the connective tissue between your ribs. That arm is overhead, gently bringing all 5 fingers in between your ribs. And then maybe even gently drawing the ribs down to create more space for your diaphragm. All the way up, all the way underneath your armpit. So usually the focus is on the twist, and I'm just realigning our focus to that upper body and rib cage tonight. And then gently bring the hand across the IT band, bring the energy down to the lower body. The difference between yin and yang yoga is yang really focuses on really quick movements and working almost strengthen the muscles, a little bit of stretching the muscles, but it's more like shortening. So we have the opportunity in yin to really get deeper into the layers of our body system tonight. Yeah. So from this twist, let's just walk on your side. Keep your right leg straight up, and the left leg is down, and just point and point. Again, you could find your sweatshirt if you have it. Any kind of fabric, shirt, cord, rope, towel. And let's just here bend that knee into the armpit, that right armpit, and straight. So we're just going to take a nice movement here, bending and straightening. As we bend, that knee comes into the armpit, slight diagonal, and then rotate that toe, big toe, towards the midline of the body, and just undulate this for a couple of minutes, just bending and straightening and turning that toe in. When you get that extension and that leg is straight, really push forward and up that strap, towel, sweatshirt, t-shirt, hand. So breath comes in, exhale out. And inhale. Extension, lengthening. Bending and straightening. Beautiful. Nice. And if our mind wanders, just come back to the mantra. This is medicine for my body. Natural medicine, healing medicine. I was just reflecting on, admiring you all on Zoom and here live, and how we're together doing this wonderful thing called taking care of our physical, mental, emotional health tonight. And I feel such oneness with you all tonight. Like, oh, these are my sisters, and maybe your brothers out there somewhere. Just bending and straightening, my sisters. Thanking you for coming tonight, everyone. Being here, allowing me to be with you. Beautiful. Bringing both knees back to the chest now, releasing, rocking side to side. Notice as you're rocking side to side across that lower back. And let's just make some little circles now, up, down, and around. Notice if the breath became shallow, and come back and lengthen it. And then gently let those knees drift to the right side. That left arm comes overhead. Palms are up, and that right leg comes and straightens out as we take the twist to that right side. Holding that twist. And when you feel it's ready, you can start noticing your ribs, gently massaging them, coming in between with your fingers and maybe coming across the actual rib bones themselves. And that motion is called cross friction. So you're just kind of removing, and this is a massage technique that actually helps to loosen the fascia. And this is actually a technique called myofascia. Just gently take your fingertips and across instead of going with the bone, you're going to go across the fascia. Gently, slowly coming back on your back, taking your right leg straight out and bringing your left leg up. Finding your sweatshirt strap, bone cord, and bringing that left foot into that strap, cord, sweatshirt. And beginning that motion of the knee into the armpit. And straightening. So as we do that movement, we're really getting into the hamstring and especially very yummy, yum, yum for the knee joint. So this is probably one of the best things if you have bad knees, to bend the knee and then straighten. Nice. The bend just floods synovial fluid through the back of the knee. So we're actually getting our little nature oil can. Yeah, beautiful ladies here. Nice, Julie. Nice, Corinne. Yeah. So that motion of the bending and straightening. Slowly, you can have your strap, you can have it there. If you don't, the sweatshirt may not work. Let's just roll up and we're going to bring ourselves into that shoulder stand. So we may have to come up and then roll back. And from the shoulder span, let's just split the shoulder span and really take the legs out into a straddle, supporting the lower SI joint. Holding that straddle split, shoulder stand. Nice use of the block, Corinne. So if you have a block, you can put the block around your sacrum. Put your hands underneath there, nice, beautiful. Yeah. I really like my hands underneath my sacrum. That's a nice spot to rest in. It kind of takes that rotation of the spine out. Beautiful. We're just kind of playing shoulder stand, split the shoulder stand. Feeling again so blessed to have this outdoor space. So many yoga studios, unfortunately, are having to close down right now. I'm getting lots of emails about them not being able to survive and not places to do them outside. So we're so lucky to have this club that has so much outdoor space. It's just beautiful that we have this outdoor space. Those of you with Zoom, it's beautiful to have this outdoor space. We're holding that shoulder stand just a little longer. Shoulder stand. Just letting you see what's here. And then from that shoulder stand, moving out gently by just coming out and keeping the knees bent, supporting the lower spine, putting the hands underneath the sacrum again, and then just resting on the upper hands, of the bones of the hands rocking side to side. Just drop the heels down, all four corners of the toes come under, and lift yourself into that bridge pose here. Again, sweatshirt, hands, block. And as you're holding bridge, this is a nice time to really focus in on slowing down your breath consciously. So inhale 6, 7, 8. Exhale, or maybe a count of 9, 10. See if you can just ride the wave of this breath as you're just gently in bridge pose. Slowly bringing yourself to your side. Like that. And you maybe kind of not more to your knees, twist around. And so you're just kind of hanging out on your side like this. So your legs are stacked up. And we're going to come into cat chasing its tail. So we're starting out just stacked. You're just resting your ear. It's kind of really comfortable. It's kind of like you're hanging out at a picnic with your best friend, just kind of picking the grass and the dandelions and maybe looking at the sky like we're doing right now here. So just bring that right knee in and then just take it all the way out to the side. And it may feel a little funky because you're going to feel your IT band and you're going to get in a little into the sciatic nerve right there. And you're going to reach behind in that leg that is there and pull it back. And that's the tail of the cat. So you're bringing it back. And it's a deep quad pose. So really getting deep into that quad. Cat chasing its tail. Love the name. Those of you who have cats. And it's a great philosophical pose about how sometimes we continuing to do the same thing over and over and over again, thinking we're going to get a different result. And it's the same thing, right? It's like, didn't I do this 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 3 years ago? And didn't that make me miserable, fat, whatever it is, this habit that we get ourselves in a loop. Our brain loves to go down the same rut. I was a downhill racer in college, and when we skied, we looked for these ruts. What's easiest? What's the easiest place? So our brains love to go down the same old path. So I encourage us all to notice these patterns, and that's mindfulness of just noticing. If we take a different road home tonight, that will help us detangle the ruts in the brain that create unwanted habits. So as we meditate on that cat chasing its tail tonight, so we call that neuroplasticity as we start rewiring the brain. And as we rewire the brain, the body will rewire itself too. That's what's so fabulous. Body-mind connection. So holding that tail just another 10 or 20 seconds longer because it's a pretty intense pose for the quad. We can always drop your tail if it's too much. So we're really pulling and opening through the psoas at the same time. So you're really pushing that top of the foot into the palm, shifting that quad back, which there's a little bit of like wowza feeling. And let's just release that and then just roll on your belly. So now you're just kind of rolling on your belly. And now you're in a nice position. Let's walk the elbows back and just ground through all 5 fingers. Yeah, some of you are not facing me and that's okay. You can hear me. Kind of nice. And squeeze your tush coming into that Sphinx pose, drawing the shoulders back. So this is really vital for that lower spine. Yeah, so grounding through the elbows, all 5, 10 fingers. Yeah. If this hyperlordosis is too much on your back, just lower down. Notice the difference if you just lower down a little bit, or you come up and notice any sensations called pain, uncomfortability. If it's too much, just take and lower. Yeah, let's draw those toes back. Yeah, shift the shoulder blades down towards the midline of the spine. Nice, nice, beautiful. This is not my favorite pose. I'll truly admit it because my shoulder blades are tight, and so I'm noticing. So just notice what your thoughts are right now. I shared that thought with you just so you know you might have that same thought, you might not. And we get to come out of this and just come up on the forearms, come back up, just come all the way into puppy pose here. And really walk out those fingertips and really lengthen through the arms. Hips are lifted. Coming from my least favorite pose to my very favorite pose, puppy. Yeah, nice, ladies, beautiful. This is a nice, just spend 3 minutes here and just find something in your heart that you're grateful for today, yesterday. Just think about what right now that you can say thank you to. What right now you can say, oh, thank you, gratitude. This pose is truly a holy pose because we bow down and there's so much humility. Letting all feelings come up this evening when they come there. Joy, sorrow, fear, grief, whatever feelings come up. Sometimes we're angry, you know, a lot of anger lately. That feeling can come up too and has a place at our tables now and then, doesn't it? Sadness has a place at the tables for us. Every feeling welcome, nothing shamed. From this puppy, just sliding that left foot through, coming into pigeon. You can come all the way down into reclining pigeon or humble pigeon, as opposed to proud pigeon. So we're down here. into that humble pigeon. It's a real deep time of humility for our country, for ourselves, as we realize that I know I took a lot of things for granted. And when we come back, I hope I hope I'll be even more ecstatically grateful for the little things in life, right? The little things like, well, I can I can sit next to somebody without a mask and talk to them, these little things. What a gift will come back with depth of gratitude. And any arrogance or ego or sense of entitlement hopefully will be washed away. So rolling into that hip if you'd like, just really undulating into that outer piriformis. And let's slowly walk the hands back and just let the hip just fall on its side. And then draw that back leg back. Just come up into table. Those of you who are facing back, could you turn around and face me? I miss you. I'm looking at your booties, which are cute, but I'm like, hey, there we go. Oh, much better. Let's come into cat here. We got contorted into the back. And I was like, oh, enough of not seeing people's faces, right? It's like, come back. Belly's in. And just undulate cat and cow. Oh, that feels so much better to see you. I mean, even if you don't look at me, I just know that you're there, right? And that's an interesting feeling is when someone's back is towards you, there can be a feeling of separation. It was interesting that the feng shui I got when I liked it for about 5 minutes because I knew you were, but then all of a sudden I felt disconnected. Yeah, so there is that subtleness of body language, taking that cat and cow, that can actually make us feel disconnected too. So notice your body language this week. Belly in, and notice others sometimes too. Belly in. Beautiful. And then just walk back before we come back into puppy and then into our pigeon. Let's come into hero's pose here. And then just take our hands here, holding hero. We can spread out and sit down into heroes, all the way in between the legs. And then just opening through the chest again. Yeah, and I just feel this circle of love and light through us all. Even in the Zoom, it's this circle. Yeah, and the symbol is for infinity. As we know that this beautiful planet has really no beginning and no end. I mean, there was a beginning, but there's just circular energy. Slowly from here, coming back, just take a nice little puppy again. And slowly drawing that opposite leg through into pigeon. Just bringing ourselves back home. It's easy to disassociate and lose track of our inner peace. So many distractions nowadays that take us away from our inner peace. We have to consciously notice if we're out of alignment with our inner peace. Drawing that back leg even farther back, and so we get deeper into that hip. Yeah, you can kind of roll forward a little bit to the side and then back. Maybe lift that foot and bring it into a deeper 90-degree angle. Some of you with open hips may even want to come to the diagonal and then melt your heart into your chest, or chest into your heart. We could call this our melting heart pigeon too. So a little twist and then walking deeper. Holding that pigeon. Slowly sliding from that pigeon out. Coming back into heroes. And let's just take a nice upward prayer. Really reaching towards the heavens. And just drawing that energy into the crown chakra and just placing it here. Seems like we're imagining bringing divine love. Bringing that and just washing it over your body, maybe across your face, bringing your right hand over your left onto your heart. And slowly bringing yourself into our final pose of Savasana. And you can continue to have your right hand over your heart. This is really comforting. It's like, I'm okay, I've got you. So if that feels more comforting to you tonight, if you need that, keep the hands over the heart tonight. If not, you can take the hands to the side, and I'll just bring in some crystal bowl.
Slowly noticing your fingers, your toes, the temperature of your fingers and toes. And just wiggling your toes. And just wiggling your fingers now. Slowly bringing yourself to your side body. Maybe stretching a little deeper. And slowly bringing yourself to seated. It seems harder than normal right now. Oh. Can we do a baby Om tonight? We'll do a baby. Bringing our hands into our heart. And namaste. Namaste. I loved our baby Om tonight. It was so pretty. And it was like, we're having to behave right now. We want to scream and sing really loud because I'm a singer, and so it's an interesting time to have to kind of subdue these natural movements of talking loud and singing loud and being close to people. So we really are in a time of restraint and in a little bit of a box that we have to stay in. So every kind of thing you're feeling tonight or this past time, we may feel discombobulated, and we have to give ourselves a break if we feel stressed or anxious and say, oh, this is a difficult time. Give yourself a big hug. Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. My Zoom friends, Isadora and Whitney. And there was somebody earlier. Thank you. Thank
you. It was great, Diana.
Thank you. I love your house outside with the beautiful, beautiful olive trees. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I'll
see
there.
you
Thanks.
next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the tour, too. It was great.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll do that next time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll show you where you're at. Thank you. Bye.